Today's topic is empirical formula and molecular formula. Most of you may know the molecular formula of at least few compounds. For example, the molecular formula of water is H2O. Carbon dioxide is CO2. What is the molecular formula of methane? Methane is CH4. Benzene C6H6. Glucose, it is C6H12O6, right? Most of you may know the molecular formula of most of these compounds, right? How you got to know that the molecular formula of water is H2O, carbon dioxide is CO2, methane is CH4, benzene is C6H6, so on? The answer is very simple. Our teachers taught this and it was there in the textbook and we by hearted, and that is how we got to know that the molecular formula of water is H2O, carbon dioxide CO2, methane is CH4, right? But actually how to write the molecular formula of a compound? So that is what we are going to discuss in today's class. Whenever a new compound is prepared or extracted in the laboratory, first the compound will be subjected to qualitative and quantitative analysis. From qualitative and quantitative analysis, we will get to know the various elements present in that compound and also the percentage of various elements present in the compound. So once we get to know the various elements present in the compound and the percentage of each element present in the compound, we can calculate its empirical formula and molecular formula. So first let us try to understand what is meant by empirical formula and molecular formula, and then let us take few example problems and let us try to understand how to calculate the empirical formula and molecular formula of a compound. First let us take empirical formula. Empirical formula, the formula which represent the simplest ratio of the number of atoms of different elements in a compound. So what do you mean by this? For example, in glucose molecule, that is C6H12O6, the ratio of number of atoms of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is the ratio of number of atoms of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is 6:12:6. Now you take the simplest ratio of this. How to take the simplest ratio? Just divide this by its HCF. So when you divide this number by its HCF, you get 1:2:1. So this is the simplest ratio. Therefore, the empirical formula of glucose is C1, H2 and O1, or simply CH2O is the empirical formula of glucose. So the empirical formula gives the simplest ratio of number of atoms of different elements present in the compound. Let us take one more example. Let us take benzene. So in benzene, the formula of benzene is C6H6. Now the ratio of number of atoms of carbon and hydrogen is 6:6. What is the simplest ratio of 6:6? It is 1:1. So this is the simplest ratio. Therefore the empirical formula of benzene is C1H1. So empirical formula gives you the simplest ratio of different elements present in the compound. Next, what is molecular formula? So molecular formula is just a one word difference in the definition of empirical formula and molecular formula. Now if you want to define what is molecular formula, then the formula which represents the actual ratio, it gives you the actual ratio. The actual ratio of the number of atoms of different elements in a compound. That is the molecular formula of a compound. So molecular formula is the formula which represents the actual ratio of the number of atoms of different elements in a compound. For example, in glucose, if you take glucose, the actual ratio of number of atoms of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen is 6:12:6. So, this is the actual ratio. Therefore, the molecular formula is C6H12O6. Similarly, in case of benzene, the actual ratio is 6:6. Therefore, the molecular formula of benzene is C6H6. So, molecular formula is the true formula of the compound. The molecular formula gives you an exact idea about which are the different types of atoms present in the compound and how many atoms are present in that particular compound. So, molecular formula is the true formula of a compound. Now, how this empirical formula is related to molecular formula? See, the molecular formula and empirical formula related by this equation. Molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into N. So, what is this N? How to find the value of this N? So, N is equal to molar mass or the molecular mass of the given compound divided by empirical formula mass, or there is one more formula to find this N. It is N is equal to 2 into vapor density divided by empirical formula mass. Let us take an example problem and try to understand how to calculate the empirical formula and molecular formula. So, to calculate the molecular formula of a compound, first you must find the empirical formula. Once after you find the empirical formula, then you must find the value of N. Once you know the value of N and empirical formula, multiply the empirical formula by N, you will get the molecular formula of a compound. Let us take an example problem and try to understand how to calculate the empirical formula and molecular formula of the compound. First, you must understand this. To calculate the empirical formula and molecular formula, first we must know the different elements present in the compound and also the percentage of these elements present in the compound. This we will get by qualitative and quantitative analysis. So, while calculating the empirical formula and molecular formula, first when you read the question, first you must note down which are the different elements present in the compound and what is its percentage. So, let us read the question and try to solve this problem now. An organic compound contains 61% carbon, 11.88% hydrogen and 27.12% oxygen. If the vapor density of the compound is 59, calculate or find the empirical formula and molecular formula of the compound. First, you must read the question clearly and you must see which are the different elements present in the given compound. In this compound, it contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. First, you must write the symbol of all these elements like this: carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And just below the symbol of the element, write the percentage of each element. Carbon is 61%, hydrogen is 11.88% and oxygen is 27.12%. First, once it is better, you add these numbers and see whether the sum will come around 100. At least approximately it must come near to 100. So, if it approximately or if it is not exactly 100, then if you try solving the problem, at the end you will not get the answer. You will not get the correct answer. So, it is always better once you add this number and see whether it will come around 100. Okay. Now, in this case, it is exactly 100. So, we can continue. So, this is the first step. Read the question, write the symbol and write the percentage of each of this element below the symbol. And the third step is you must divide this number by its respective atomic mass. Carbon, its atomic mass is 12. So, divide 61 by 12. Hydrogen, its atomic mass is 1. So, divide this number by 1. Oxygen, its atomic mass is 16. So, divide this number by 16. So, divide the percentage by its atomic mass. So, when you divide 61 by 12, you will get it as 5.08. 5.08. So, you can use a calculator to do this. Okay. Next, 11.88 divided by 1 is 11.88. Next, 27.12 by 16 will come around 1.69. 1.69. Next step is, out of these three numbers, you must note down which is the smallest number. So round off the smallest number out of these three. The smallest out of these three is 1.69, and you must divide all these numbers by the smallest number among them. So the next step, you will divide all these by 1.69, 1.69, 1.69. After dividing, what the answer you will get, that answer you must round off it to the nearest whole number. Now if you divide 5.08 by 1.69, you will get it as 3.005. So 3.005 is nearest to 3. So I will round off it to 3. You have to round off it to the nearest whole number. Okay, you should not write it as 3.005. So you have to round off it to the nearest whole number. So 3.005 is approximately it is 3. Similarly, 11.88 divided by 1.69 will come around 7.02. When you divide this, you will get 7.02. 7.02 is approximately 7. So round off to the nearest whole number, so we will get it as 7. Here 1.69 by 1.69 is 1. So this is the simplest ratio. So the empirical formula of the compound is C3H7O1 will be the empirical formula. So empirical formula of the compound is C3H7O1. Next we must find the molecular formula. To find the molecular formula, first you must find the value of N. To find the value of N, you need to know the empirical formula mass. So after writing the empirical formula, you must calculate the empirical formula mass. How to obtain the empirical formula mass? Just like we obtained molecular mass of a compound. How to get the molecular mass of a compound? By adding the atomic mass of various elements present in the compound. To find the empirical formula mass, just add the atomic mass of all the elements present in the empirical formula. Here it is 3 carbon atoms. So 3 into 12, 7 hydrogen atom. So 7 into 1, 1 oxygen atom, 1 into 16. Just add the atomic mass of all the elements present in the empirical formula. That will give you the empirical formula mass. So empirical formula mass of this compound is 3 into 12 plus 1 into 7 plus 16. This will come around 59. So if you multiply and add, you will get it as 59. So after writing empirical formula, you must calculate the empirical formula mass. Now you must find the value of N. To find the value of N, we have two formulas which I have already mentioned. One is molecular mass divided by empirical formula mass, or 2 into vapor density divided by empirical formula mass. In some of the problem, they will give you the value of vapor density. In some case, they will give you the value of molecular mass. If molecular mass is already given, then you must use the formula N is equal to molecular mass by empirical formula mass. If vapor density is given, then you can find the value of N using the formula 2 into vapor density divided by empirical formula mass. So this is equal to 2 into the vapor density of the compound is 59 and empirical formula mass is 59. So 59 will get cancelled. So the value of N is 2. Now what is the molecular formula? Molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into N. What is the empirical formula? Empirical formula is C3H7O, and what is the value of N? N is 2. So just multiply these. 2 3s are 6, 2 7s are 14, 2 1s are 2. So this is the molecular formula of the compound. So this is how you will calculate the empirical formula and molecular formula of a compound. So let us take one more example and let us try to understand this properly. Second problem, an organic compound contains 40% carbon, 6.66% hydrogen and rest oxygen. If molecular mass of the compound is 60, find the empirical formula and molecular formula of the compound. So in this case, the organic compound contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but the percentage of carbon and percentage of hydrogen is given, but the percentage of oxygen is not given. So first you must find the percentage of oxygen. In this compound, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen is present. Percentage of carbon and hydrogen is given. So when you add the percentage of all these three elements, you must get it as 100. So since you know the percentage of carbon and hydrogen, add these two and subtract from 100. So you will get the percentage of oxygen. So first you must find the percentage of oxygen. So how you will find the percentage of oxygen? So to find the percentage of oxygen, what you must do? You have to subtract. You must subtract the sum of percentage of carbon and hydrogen from 100. So if you subtract this, 100 minus 40 plus 6.66. Add the percentage of carbon and hydrogen and subtract from 100. That will give you the percentage of oxygen. So this will come around 53.34 percentage. So now write the symbol of all these elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Next write the percentage of each of the elements below it. Carbon is 40%. Hydrogen is 6.66% and oxygen is 53.34. Next step is you have to divide this percentage by its atomic mass. Atomic mass of carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1, oxygen is 16. Now you can use the calculator. If you divide this, 40 by 12 will come around 3.33. This is 6.66, and if you divide this once again, you will get it as 3.33. What is the next step? Round off the smallest among these. The smallest out of 3.33, 6.66, 3.33 is 3.33, whichever, either this or this. So this is the smallest. Divide all these three by the smallest out of this. So 3.33 by 3.33, 6.6 by 3.33, 3.33 by 3.33. After dividing, you have to round off it to the nearest whole number, but in this case 3.33 by 3.33, you will get it as 1. 6.66 by 3.33 will come around 2, and this is 1. So this is the simplest ratio. Therefore the empirical formula of the compound is C1H2O1. So empirical formula is CH2O is the empirical formula. Now you must calculate molecular formula. For this, what you must do? First you must calculate the empirical formula mass. How you will obtain the empirical formula mass? By adding the atomic mass of all the elements present in the empirical formula. One carbon atom, that is 12. 2 hydrogen atom, so 2 into 1 plus 1 oxygen atom, that is 16. This will come around 30. 12 plus 2 plus 16 is 30. Next you must find the value of N. In this case, whether vapor density is given or molecular mass is given. Molecular mass is given. So you must find the value of N by using the formula molecular mass divided by empirical formula mass. Molecular mass divided by empirical formula mass. What is the molecular mass that is given? 60 divided by 30. This is equal to 2. So the value of N is 2. So what is the molecular formula of a compound? Molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into N. Empirical formula is CH2O and value of N is 2. So multiply this, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 ones are 2. So this is the molecular formula of the compound. Very simple. Only thing is you must try to understand the concept. Once you get to know the concept, you can solve n number of problems. So if you don't understand the concept and simply if you try to buy it, then you will not succeed in solving any of the problems. So always it is better you try to understand the concept. Read the question, write down all the elements, symbol of all the elements, write the percentage composition below that and divide that percentage by its atomic mass and round off the smallest out of this and divide all this by the smallest number, and after dividing you have to round off it to the nearest whole number. You should not write that integer value. If it is like, if you get it as 2.03, you should not write it as 2.03. Round off to the nearest whole number, then 2.03 will be 2. Okay, then you will get the simplest ratio. Using that you write the empirical formula. After writing the empirical formula, calculate the empirical formula mass. Then once you get the empirical formula mass, you can find the value of n based on whether the molecular mass is given or vapor density is given. So then after finding the value of n, you can calculate the molecular formula. So let us take one more example. Third problem. An organic compound on analysis gave following percentage composition: carbon 57.8%, hydrogen 3.6%, oxygen 38.6%. If vapor density of the compound is 83, find the empirical formula and molecular formula of the compound. Here the percentage composition of all these elements are given. And remember, it need not be always carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. It can be any element present. You have to read the question and you have to note down the elements present in the compound. In some cases, carbon, hydrogen, chlorine can be given. In some of the compounds, only carbon and hydrogen may be present. In some of the compound, magnesium, oxygen and carbon may be present. Whichever element, just you must note down which are the different elements present and write the symbol of those elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and write the percentage below the symbol: 57.8, 3.6, 38.6. Next step, you must divide this by their atomic mass. So atomic mass of carbon is 12, hydrogen is 1, oxygen is 16, and when you divide this 57.8 by 12, you will get it as 4.81. This is 3.6, and 38.6 divided by 16 is 2.41. Now round off the smallest out of these three. The smallest is 2.41. Divide this by the smallest: 2.41, 2.41 and 2.41. So when you divide 4.81 by 2.41, you will get it as 1.99. So approximately we can write it as 2. But when you divide 3.6 by 2.41, you will get it as 1.49. So when you divide 3.6 by 2.41, you will get 1.49. So whether you will round off it to 1 or whether you will round off it to 2. So there are cases where sometimes when you divide, it will be not nearest to any of the whole number. So in such case, what has to be done? And in which case you can round off and in which cases you can't round off. Now you see, if it is 1.0 anything or 1.1 anything, 1.2 any digits, in these three cases, now it is 1.4 and some digit, but what I am saying is, if it was 1.0 and any digit or 1.1 and any digit, 1.2 and any digit, you could round off all these three to 1. Approximately you can take it as 1. And if it is 1.3 or 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, you can't round off it to 1 or you can't round off it to 2. If it is 1.8 something and 1.9 something, then you can take it as 2. Same with if you have 2.01, 2.0, 2.13, 2.22, you can round off it to 2. If it is 2.8, you can take it as 3. If it is 2.9 also, you can take it as 3. So when you can round off and when you can't round off is when it is 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, you can round off, and when it is 1.8, 1.9 also you can round off. But if it is 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, you can't round off. So now it is 1.49. You can't round off it to either 1 or 2. So you must write it as it is, 1.49. I will explain you later what has to be done for this. Next, when you divide 2.41 by 2.41, you will get a perfect whole number, that is 1. Now in this step, if you don't get a perfect whole number, then what has to be done is you must multiply all these number with a suitable whole number to get a whole number. Listen carefully. In this step, if these numbers are not a whole number, then you must multiply all these number by a suitable whole number to get a whole number. First what you must do is, you must multiply by 2 and see. You must multiply all this number by 2. When you multiply all these 3 number by 2, if you get a whole number, okay, then fine, then you have to multiply it by 2. If after multiplying by 2, if you don't get a perfect whole number, then you have to multiply by 3 and see. If after multiplying with 3, if you don't get a whole number, you have to multiply by 4. So you have to start with 2 and see whether you will get a perfect whole number. You have to start with 3 and see whether you will get a perfect whole number. And you have to, next you have to do it with 4. So when you multiply by 2, 3 or 4, definitely you will get a perfect whole number. First let us multiply this by 2 and see whether you will get a perfect whole number. If I multiply this by 2, I will get 2 to the 4. And when I multiply 1.49 with 2, I will get approximately 3, closer to 3. So now I will round off it to 3. Next when I multiply by 1, when I multiply this 1 by 2, I will get it as 2. So I got a perfect whole number by multiplying these numbers by 2. If I would have not got this whole number by multiplying by 2, I would have tried with 3. We must try with 3. So when you multiply by 2 or 3, definitely you will get a perfect whole number. This is one special case, that is why I took this example. But in most of the cases, when you divide, you will get a perfect whole number. If you don't get, you must remember this. You have to multiply this by a suitable whole number to get a whole number. Now this will be the simple ratio. Now you can write the empirical formula. C4H3O2 will be the empirical formula of the compound. So empirical formula is C4H3O2 is the empirical formula. Next step is you must calculate the empirical formula mass. How you will find the empirical formula mass? By adding the atomic mass of all the elements present in the empirical formula. So 4 into 12 plus 3 into 1 plus 2 into 16, and if you multiply and if you add this 83. Next you must find the value of n. N is equal to, since vapor density is given, 2 into vapor density by empirical formula mass. This is equal to 2 into 83 by 83. So 83 will get cancelled. So the value of n is 2. Then how to write the molecular formula? Molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into n, and empirical formula is C4H3O2 multiplied by 2. So 2 4s are 8, 2 3s are 6 and 2 2s are 4. So this is the molecular formula of the compound. So this is how you will calculate the empirical formula and molecular formula of a compound, and for board exam this is a very important question. At least one question will be asked in the final board exams. Is this clear? Fine.